The mesencephalon is the developmental division of the brain that makes up the midbrain, and it's located right here. The mesencephalon can be further divided into its dorsal and ventral components. On the dorsal side, we have the tectum, and then the ventral portion is called the tegmentum. The tectum on the dorsal side is made up of the superior colliculus and the inferior colliculus. These brain regions are important in sensory reflexes. The superior colliculus is important in the visual system. Now remember, consciousness happens at the level of the telencephalon, and then the next higher order structure is the diencephalon. So at the level of the mesencephalon, we're really working with a very rudimentary system. There exist organisms that can react to visual stimuli in their environment through only reflexes. The superior colliculus is our human version of a brain region that acts as a visual system reflex structure. It does communicate with the thalamus and the cortex to provide higher order information, but at this level it's just reflexes, not conscious awareness. The inferior colliculus, as it sounds, is located just below the superior colliculus, and it's important in the auditory system. The tegmentum of the midbrain, of the mesencephalon, has a couple of really important brain regions related to the dopamine system. For example, the substantia nigra. The substantia nigra is the source, that is the cell bodies for dopamine, that project to the basal ganglia. This pathway from the substantia nigra to the basal ganglia is called the nigrostriatal pathway. And this pathway is very important in motor control. It turns out that in Parkinson's disease, this is the pathway that's degenerated, leading to the motor symptoms of Parkinson's disease. So the nigrostriatal dopamine pathway is where we have cell bodies in the substantia nigra of the mesencephalon projecting, that is, their axons travel to the basal ganglia in the telencephalon. They release dopamine at the level of the basal ganglia and influence motor control. There's another nucleus in the tegmentum of the mesencephalon called the ventral tegmental area. This brain region also has cell bodies for dopamine in it, and these cell bodies project to a couple of different areas. In the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, projections from the ventral tegmental area travel to the amygdala and the nucleus accumbens. This brain region, or this pathway I should say, is overactive in patients with schizophrenia, and it's thought to contribute to the positive symptoms of schizophrenia like delusions and hallucinations. Other cell bodies for dopamine in the ventral tegmental area project to the prefrontal cortex. This pathway is called the mesocortical pathway. Again, we've got cell bodies in the ventral tegmental area of the mesencephalon. Their axons travel all the way to the prefrontal cortex in the telencephalon. Remember, the prefrontal cortex is important in executive function. So damage to this pathway means that people can't do as good a job of planning, making decisions, and functioning executively. This pathway is thought to be underactive in patients with schizophrenia, leading to some of the negative symptoms, such as poor ability to plan and make decisions.